What's the tea? 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 What's the tea?
So hard on yourself. Let's go back to simplicity. I feel like I've been missing it. Was not who I'm supposed to be. I felt this darkness over me. We all get there eventually. I never knew where I belong, but I was right and you were wrong. Been telling myself, don't be so hard on yourself. Learn to forgive, learn to let go. Everyone trips, everyone falls. So don't be so hard on yourself. I'm just hard on watching on my own. And I'm afraid I'm feeling in my bones. Oh, how I hurt my heart to stone. So don't be so hard on yourself.
Hello everyone, I am the Water Bear and welcome back to the Water Bear's Tea. In this video, we're going to talk about debunking common fears. It's a very important video I want to share, mainly because mass media completely screws up the facts and makes us so afraid of certain things, and they're dramatic as hell, okay? And so I felt the need to come in and really share a lot of facts and statistics of really a lot of fears that we have, to debunk them and really show you that there's really nothing to fear ever. Okay, I'm also going to explain the purpose of why the media puts so much fear in our lives. But I really feel like, ever since I've started my awakening journey back in like 2012, 2013, a lot of what I've learned is actually just realizing that the things I learned prior were not true. Okay, a lot of what my healing has been removing beliefs about myself that are not true, that I believed from society or from other people. A lot of my fears have been removing certain fears that were created within me from listening to society a long time ago. And really a lot of, even in the school, I'm learning all the things I learned in school, haven't really benefited me much. A lot of the things that we're taught and we're pushed to grow in and understand by society is actually to our detriment, basically, okay? So this video, I hope it brings a lot of insight to you. It really brought so much to me. I'll talk about why I'm even doing this video in a second. And yeah, let me get into it. So I have... And growing up, I had a lot of fears. I was so afraid growing up, okay? And I think a lot of that astrologically as well is I have Antares, the star of like, it's a fixed star, very strong energy, but it represents like war and darker energies, okay? That's my IC, literally exactly, okay? Which is the bottom of my chart, meaning my roots, where I came from, what's deep emotionally within me. So whatever my soul's been through, I know I'm an old soul. I've been through a lot, and I can feel that. But it's a lot of trauma, a lot of dark energies, a lot of pain, murders, just terrible things that my soul has grown through over lifetimes. And so I've incarnated basically holding that in. I grew up in an environment that was very fear-based, lots of drama and just lots of like negativity, and it became a part of me, okay? Because that's kind of what happens, is you bring the fears from your last life into this one, okay? I literally remember, and before we moved into this house I'm in now, we moved when I was 7, so it had to be before I was 7. I used to put my toys and my Legos and stuff in front of the window whenever I was afraid that someone was going to break in, okay? Like, why was a 5-year-old thinking of someone breaking in their window on the 2nd story and literally laying out I remember this so vividly, laying it out like, if they come in, they're going to step on this and it's going to hurt their feet, blah, 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 blah. And so growing up, I've been dealing with a lot of that. I had a lot of fear of driving, and I had so many dreams of car accidents, plane crashes. I feel like maybe I've died a lot. I mean, we've all, with the reincarnation, you have to die somehow. But I must have recently died very tragically. I've always had dreams of being shot. Not anymore. A lot of that recently, especially the past 7 years or so, since my awakening, I don't have nightmares anymore. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's something very like intuitive, I'm getting a message. But before that, y'all, oh my God, dreams every night of, getting shot, running, can't move, so many fears, okay? And even growing up, I mean, my mother, like when I started driving, I had to drive within this neighborhood for a year, once I got my permit. So that just kind of explains the kind of restriction I grew up in, but based on the fear that my mother had, my family had. Okay, she'd always say, it's not you, it's everybody else around the road. Everybody on the road is crazy. You know, you can always get in a car accident, blah, 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 blah. It was, I never could go out. Like, all my friends were going out at night. I was here, okay, or at dance because I wanted, my family wanted me to be safe, okay. But really, as I'm growing older, I'm realizing that was so dramatic, and it was a lot because of what they were listening to from the media. Okay. P.S. I have not watched the news in 5 years. I've given up TV. I mean, occasionally, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch came on Netflix. I watched that, or like certain shows. You know what I mean? Like Sense8. I love that show. I watched that. Anything LGBT, I usually will watch. For representation, okay, or like music artists and that kind of stuff. I'm into pop culture, but as in watching the news every morning and that kind of stuff, I have not done that in 5 or 6 years. And when I tell you I don't start my day with anxiety anymore, okay, unless it's something that's self-imposed, you know, that I'm working on. It's so much better for me, but that's just kind of, you know, where I'm coming from and why I started doing this debunking of fears, okay. It literally started about a month ago. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but I'm finally feeling inspired to make it. I was taking a bath, and this happens frequently, especially when I was in New York away from home. Well, like after a while, that became my home. But because I was away, I used to take showers and have these fears. Literally see in my third eye someone coming in and hitting my head up against the shower. Just a lot of fears, okay, of break-ins and so many things, okay. And so I was taking a bath about a month ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago, I don't know. And I kept getting that same thought, like, oh my gosh, did I hear something? What if somebody comes in right now when I'm here? And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm so done with having this feeling. I'm so done with even thinking these things because they don't feel true to me, but they just keep ringing in my ear. I need to prove them wrong. Okay, so I got on my phone and started looking at the statistics of truly what happens, okay, how many break-ins there actually are, okay, all these different things, and it literally cleared my anxiety like that, okay, just looking at that fact allowed me to clear away so much past beliefs and false truths that I believed growing up, okay, so I'm going to share that to you guys, all right. I have 4 main fears that I feel like, you know, we all have, or they're just very popular in the U.S., and also all of the statistics I'm sharing, are U.S. statistics, okay? Oh, the bats, okay. Just so that you can, you know, we're in the U.S., mainly a lot of the people watching my channel, and so, you know, I just thought to give that understanding. And so we're going to be talking about homicide, break-ins and theft, homelessness, and car crashes, okay? Because those are main things that I felt afraid of growing up. Mainly, it was homicide, okay, getting shot or getting in a bad situation, getting killed, okay. Break-ins, definitely, all right. Homelessness is not necessarily fear of homeless people at all, okay. I literally, like, if you saw me in New York, like, those are the main people I hung out with. It's like people can tell that I'm a chill kind of soul, so people would come to me. I've had homeless people asking me for directions. Hey, which train should I take? Oh, this one. Or they come up and talk to me and chill, you know. And so that's not the fear at all. But it's the fear of my family growing up. Literally, my mom used to drive me around anytime I didn't want to do my homework and stuff and show me people, you know, dumping the trash and that kind of stuff, saying if you don't, you know, work hard, this is going to be your job. And they would always say, like, especially when I started moving on my own, now I'm realizing they were doing this negatively to make me scared, but this is regardless, okay. It was telling me, you know, you make sure you're working and making that money because you don't want to be on the street. My whole life it was, we're not trying to be on the street. Oh my God, if we don't make this payment, we're going to be on the road, on the street. So I had this fear of losing my home, okay? Not feeling stable, feeling like I have to work my ass off to just keep stability in a home, okay? So I'm going to share facts about how many people are actually homeless, how many people have lost their homes, and how many people actually are millionaires, okay? And show you that you know, contrast, because I feel like society, of course, they definitely bring in homicide and talk to us about how that's the main thing we hear. Okay, how many people were shot, all these things. Break-ins is another thing. Every other commercial on the TV is a break-in commercial, okay? Car crashes are major as well. I remember in high school and middle school, all the times we would go to all these, what's it called, like meetings, not a meeting, but like where they, oh, there's like a cute little mini dragonfly right there, hi. But these what's the word I'm looking for? Like, just meetings, okay, where everybody in the high school comes and you watch, and it was car crash themes, okay, right before prom there was one saying don't drink and drive, all these things, okay. How many movies do you see major, like car crashes and all these things happening, okay? This is, again, publicized from the media, okay? So I want to debunk all of these for you guys. By the end of this video, you're going to be like, oh my god, wow, like, nothing is going on, okay? Everybody's just living their life in a great way, and of course there are certain things that are going on, but I want to spread a little light, okay? I feel like we've all taken on this, also a fallacy, that the world's getting darker. That's not really happening, okay? The media might be sharing more darkness, all right? But looking at statistics, and I was looking at how it changed over the year, and a lot of the facts haven't changed since like the 20s, okay? So, and that's like 100 years from now. I mean, 100 years ago, sorry. In this past 100 years, not much has shifted, okay? So I just have to, let me go ahead and start the details. I want to give you a little bit of an intro of what's going on here. But let me go ahead and share the reasons why the media does this, and then I'm going to get into the statistics, okay? So, the main thing, it gets attention, okay? That's just, you know, I feel like that's what we've noticed. If you're pretty woke to kind of what's going on with the media as well, you can understand that, like, of course they would share, you know, chaos, hurricane, oh my god, this hurricane is coming, because the dramatic events, dramatic things get our attention, okay? So that's the first thing. But that's actually not even fully true, because think about social media, okay? We're not the most apt. Yeah, we'll watch an article or a video about something tragic happening, but how many things do you share? I'm noticing, and maybe it's just the people I follow, but the majority of things I see on social media, which is what consciously people are sharing, mass media, TV, is someone else sharing things. But social media really shows you what the people want to see, because we're sharing it, okay? Positive things, animals laughing, you know, like fun situations, humans saving each other. A lot of people are trying to motivate each other, sharing music, laughing. Gossip is one thing, but that's not fully, there's a lot of gossip on social media, but it's not about like terror, okay, and terror attacks and murders and all these things. You don't really see people wanting to feed too much into that, okay? We do on the news because society, we trust, you know, the media, which is like, hopefully after this video you'll have a little less trust in the mass media, okay? And so we that's when we kind of absorb all those fears, but I don't really feel like a lot of people actually focus that much on the negative, okay? And even if we do, that's because of conditioning from the past, but we really are focusing on it because we want to get out of it. We want to stay positive. We want to just end it, and not necessarily, I hate when people like, everything shouldn't be positive. Life has negativity too. Yes, that's true, okay? There's a balance of both, but I'm talking about enjoying life, okay? Yes, that's the main aspect. We want to feel good, okay? That's just, God wants us to feel good. Spirit wants us, whatever you believe in, okay? Wants us to have peace and joy, okay? And not, you don't see animals constantly, like, even though they have extreme things to fear about, because I've seen all kind of animals getting eaten like that, you know what I'm saying? But before that happens, until comes into their awareness where they have to, you know, fight for things, you don't really see animals unless they've, you know, deer and stuff, because they've been hit by cars. They are around us. But animals, especially those that have no connection with humans, they don't have fear, okay? They will get into that fight or flight once they get into a situation. But before that, like a bird's chilling, you know, a dog's chilling. We're chilling. We want to enjoy, okay? And so it's a misconception or misperception that we love drama and death and murder and all these things, okay? We are listening to those because of our fears, basically, okay? We want to make sure we're aware of what's going on so we can not be in those situations, okay? But I'm going to share some things and really let you guys know ain't no need for all that, okay? The next reason I feel like the media shares so much craziness is to bring fear. Because what does fear do? Fear cripples you, okay? Fear disempowers you, all right? Fear, when you're afraid of certain things, it makes you, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? Let me ask someone else, or let me look outside of myself for salvation, okay? You know, looking at in so many ancient writings, the Bible, you know, the Kabbalah, so many different things that talks about fear being the opposite of like love and acceptance, and fear separates, okay? And that's another one main thing I want to talk about with why the mass media does this is it causes separation, which is the opposite of what really truly is. We all are whole. Everything is one. Okay. Even our understanding of this is like here, this is separate from me. That's not even true. Everything is really connected if you zoom in. Okay. And think about even, you know, the hardest thing, the biggest fear that we actually have is being separate from the group. Okay. Isolation. Okay. Which is another reason why the media, you know, separates us so much. This is, you know, with stereotypes on these things to make us fear other races or fear other, you know, groups. Okay. Other, you know, social settings, other areas of the world, all these different things to make us feel that we have to be, I don't want to be over there with them. Okay. Which is the opposite of what we truly need, which is connectivity. When humans connect together, we can do anything. So of course, the media, okay, which is like the side hoe of the big boss up there who wants to keep us disempowered and reliant on them because they're getting our money, okay? Of course they want to keep us separate and not want, because once we get together, we're going to realize we can do our own thing. We don't even need to listen to the news. We don't even need to, like, I haven't watched the news or really, you know, aside from having my cell phone and stuff like that, which is a part of this big government, that kind of thing, I don't feed into anything that the government's giving me, or not just the government, but you know what I'm saying, like those big monopoly, like corrupt systems. Okay, I'm not working under any of that anymore, and so, you know, I feel so much free. I feel like I'm a part of just the natural world. Okay, and so this fear is here to cripple us and to separate us. Okay, two more things. It's here to fund, give more money, because think about insurance. That is completely based off of fear. Okay, you're only having insurance just in case something happens. You get what I'm saying? Now, I do believe we need car insurance, that kind of stuff, because things do happen. But it's not even that like the rates, the amount that we're paying for it should be way less, because the percentage of crashes and percentage of damage is way less. But they keep pushing in, oh, look at all these car crashes, look at all these break-ins, so that you feel okay paying all that hella high amounts for insurance, for what did I say right now? Home security systems, okay, guns, all these things that we feel like we need to keep us safe, okay, and safety is the main promise that Spirit has for us. Why would Spirit put us in a situation that's not safe unless we're learning from it, okay, and unless we are, you know, if we're doing something crazy, we're going to get something crazy back. You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to be put in a situation that we can't get out of and can't get through. Okay. And the last thing, all of this fear, it paints a bad image of humans. Okay. Which makes us lose trust in each other. Again, another reason why, because if we had trust in each other, we would be more connected, right? Okay. So, you know, all the murders, especially how they point it towards the Black community. Okay. Make so many people afraid of Black people. Okay, seeing us as violent or just fully sexual. You know, the way they show the media, they don't show a lot of educated Black people, which is the majority. Okay, I literally remember in college, took a sociology class. My minor was psychology, so I know a lot about, you know, all this good stuff. And the teacher asked the class, and I was actually, it like hit me and made me like, oh my God, I need to check myself. She asked the amount of Black men from 18, I think it was, to 25, like the college range. Are there more Black men in that age in college or in jail? And when I tell you, and I did at this time, I was going to University of South Carolina, which is like racist as hell, okay? But everybody raised their hand for jail. And she proves to us that that's not true at all. There are way more Black men in college than in jail. But because of the misconceptions of how things are, you know, shown, it shows this distrust of the Black community, okay? And this is with so many different things, okay? Not just race, but it's so many different things, okay? You know, even driving, all the car crashes, it makes you not trust other people, okay? Before I looked at these statistics, I would always get nervous driving down 2-lane roads, which is like all the roads in South Carolina, because I was like, anything, I literally remember, it was when I got my license, we had to take driving school for like, it was like a 4 or 5 hour like course for a day. You had to go and learn about everything. And the first video we saw was a car, and it showed, and it said, what keeps this car from hitting this car? A yellow line. And I was like, oh, hell no, only a yellow line? Like, anything could happen. There could be so many. But they didn't let you know, actually, that rarely happens, okay? Because everybody in the car wants to be safe. They're not trying to, who would want, oh, let me just run into this car really quick and fuck up their lives, okay? No, nobody's doing that, okay? But starting the video with that fear, making you so afraid of any accident to occur, that is what society does, okay? And that makes you not trust in others. So I literally lost a lot of trust in people. I was like, I don't know those people. I don't know how they're driving. It's not that serious, okay? When we get into the facts about car crashes, you'll understand, okay? So that's what I have, the reasons why media does that. I hope that resonated with you guys. If you have any more, please comment below. I think this is going to be a great video. I want to get this out, let people know so that we can fear less, okay? You know, I love my astrology videos, I love my tarot videos, okay? But I also love to just give information that has helped me in life, so hope this helps you guys. So now, let's get into debunking. I'm excited, okay? The first one, homicide, okay? So, and also, let me give a disclaimer, okay? Like, did you see how excited I was to see that dragonfly, okay? I literally cry when I see, like, dead animals, like little bugs, okay? Yesterday, I walked out and there was a fly just, like, dead on the floor, and I was like, that is so sad, like, what happened to him, okay? So, especially if you know me, like, my empathy is through the roof, okay? So, in all the things I'm talking about here, I do not want to take away from people who are murdered, okay? People who do get broken into, homeless people, and people who do get into car crashes. I'm not taking away from that. I really do not want anybody to because I don't have time for that, okay? I don't have time because I know somebody will comment, well, it's still sad that, you know, this happens. That is so true. That is very, very true, okay? And, like, you don't understand, like, okay, my empathy is through the roof, okay? So this is not, I'm not here to, you know, make it to desensitize us from what goes on, okay? We see enough of that on the media to make us, you know, that's why I don't watch TV, because I get so connected to things. I be crying in movies and they're fictional, okay? So that, I just wanted to put that disclaimer here. This is just to share the BS of the mass media and how dramatic they are, okay? Not to take away from the terrible things that happen in life, okay? So, let's get to the first thing, homicide, okay? I don't know why I'm smart when saying that, but you get what I'm saying. Let me just get to the first one. I'm excited to share, okay? So, the number of murders in the U.S., this is a lot, and also I wrote down the sources of the majority of the statistics, okay? Because, so that you'll see where they're coming from, okay? With the homicide reports, the majority of what I'm saying is coming from the U.S. Bureau of Justice, okay? So, in 2017, the number of murders in the U.S. was 17,284, okay? So, 17,000 people were murdered in 2017, okay? And that just in general, I was like, oh, wow, that's not as much as I was thinking. So, let me continue. 75% of those murders were with guns, okay? And so 75% of the people that are murdered it's murders coming from guns. Okay, so that is true. A lot of the murders that are happening are gun related. Okay, which is so the main reason why I'm so for gun control and just removing it in general. I hate guns. Okay, just even thinking about whoever invented that, like, fuck you. Okay, sorry to say that, but like, that's so much fear. You have to literally shoot somebody from a distance. Like, you can't even, like, that's just fear. Okay, if you were not afraid, you wouldn't need all that. Okay, but anyways, that's not what this video is for. Okay, but listen to this. Only 30% of gun deaths are actually for murder. Okay, and I was like, what? 60% of gun deaths happen through suicide. Okay, so the majority of people dying through guns are actually doing it on themselves, not on other people. 37% of the uses of guns for murder are happening on other people, but 60% is happening for self. Okay, so that's almost double. So that even shows you, you know, if they show that statistic, it would show even more that we can trust people more. Because it is sad that suicide is happening completely, but the majority of people using guns are using that on themselves, okay, to take themselves out, okay, and not violently trying to shoot people. So there's not a lot of people around shooting people, okay, which is the main misconception that people like to share, that people are always out here, you know, knocking people out, busting cabs in people's heads, okay. Also from the U.S. Bureau of Justice. And at the end of this, I'm going to give percentages. Okay, so I'm going to do for all of it. You'll get the majority of, like, the relation between, okay, so this is how many people died, but how many Americans are there? Okay, so 17,000 U.S. people in 2017 were murdered. Back to the next thing. 73 to 79% of all homicides in the U.S. are committed by offenders known to the victim. So about 75 to 80% of all of the murders occurring are from person they know. Okay, so only about 20% to 15% of, 20 to 35% of, is that? I'm trying to do that right. 75%. Okay. Oh, 25 to 20%. I was like, that doesn't feel right. I didn't say that right. Of people are getting murdered by people they do not know. Okay, and the majority of the unknown murders are actually due to being caught in a bad place at the wrong time during a robbery or a burglary. Okay, like you ended up getting shot as someone was trying to rob a bank, and you were in the way, and it was like the fear of the person, that they're like, I don't know what to do, so they just kind of ended it. Okay, so that brought a little bit of relief to me, knowing that, because I had a big fear of just all, I don't want to piss somebody off and get shot. I just remember even living in Brooklyn. I lived in Jamaica, Queens, New York. I lived in some areas, okay? Bed-Stuy, Jamaica, Queens, okay? But I didn't really have that much fear. But initially, everybody, who, when they heard I was living there, oh my gosh, watch out, watch your back, you don't want to get shot, all these things, okay? And so this is just sharing that the majority of homicide, 80%, 75 to 80%, is occurring from somebody they know. Okay, it's like, I'm going to take you out, that kind of thing. Okay. And so, to the last part of this, the U.S. population is there are 327.2 million people in the United States. Okay. So, the percentage of people being murdered is 0.0046%. Okay. 0.0046%. Okay, I don't even know, what is that? Less than 0.0001%. Okay, and 0.004%. Okay, of people are getting murdered. All right, so that just helped me so much to realize not a lot of people. Okay, not even 1%. That would 1% is okay. That's like 1 out of every 100 people. Okay. That could incite some fear, okay? Even 0.1%, all right? That would be 1 out of every 1,000 people, okay? This is even 0.01, 1 out of every 10,000, okay? This is less than that. This is 0.0046% of people are involved or are murdered, okay? So that's the first one that I want to share, homicide. Just to show you, and think about initially, how much distrust you have in people, thinking everybody's shooting everybody. But now looking, not a lot of people are murdering people, and the murders that are occurring is from somebody they know. Okay, maybe they, did something to their child or something, and it's like, okay, I'm going to have to kill you, that kind of thing. Now, do I condone any of that? No, that's personally for me. Okay, and honestly, I don't know. You never know. Okay. But I'm never going to take someone's life. But I don't know why I felt that. But that could be some past life stuff. That Antares on my IC, you never know what. I always, growing up, used to say, you would never rob a bank with me. Or like, I used to play drive-by with my sister. Like, a car would drive by and we'd run thinking that we'd get shot. You know what I'm saying? So these are the kind of fears, like, I don't know. And my sister's a Scorpio. She has a lot of deep, Scorpionic, Venus conjunct Pluto, okay? Both in Scorpio. So my family came from dark times. Very lots of trauma, okay? So there's lots of fears that I've been healing and working through that have been passed down through me, okay? Or to me. So I hope that helped with the homicide. It definitely helped me. So now I want to move into break-ins, okay? And this is just weird. I feel weird moving like that so fast. I feel like I should talk more about it, but I hope that makes sense. I don't want to, again, and this is me trying not to make it like desensitize it, because again, I'm empathizing so much. I'm empathizing with you guys. I don't want to make you feel like I'm just saying things and not really caring about the people that are murdered, okay? Again, do I want any of the people to be murdered? Hell no, okay? But knowing that 0.0046% of Americans are murdered really helps me release that fear. Okay, so now moving on to break-ins. Okay, the number of home break-ins is 1.6 million. Okay, and this is from the FBI Uniform Crime Reporting Statistics. So out of the and this was on average from 2003 to 2007. Okay, so this is an average study. I got some from 1 year, but I like to use some averages as well, so you can kind of see. Regardless, it's not a lot. Okay, so 1.6 million households have experienced a break-in. Okay, and from the Bureau of Justice, the statistics say 72.4% of the time when the break-in was experienced, there was no one present at home. Okay, and so this is mainly I'm explaining these facts that I'm about to explain to show to you that the people that are breaking into homes, they're not trying to cause harm. I know that sounds weird because they're breaking into your home, but it must be for, they need something out of it, okay, like for survival, you know what I'm saying, or they know you, okay, and they're breaking in to have confrontation with you, okay, or steal something from you. They maybe, it's your child and that's your family, your mother, your child breaking into your home to steal money for drugs, that kind of thing, okay. But I want to say that, okay, so 72% of the household break-ins, no one was home, okay. And out of the 27.6% of the people that were home during the break-in, 26% experienced some sort of violence. Okay, so the people breaking in while people are there, if someone breaks in and they're there, only 26% of the people ended up in some kind of violent situation. So probably what happened is they broke in, were thinking you probably weren't there, saw you were there, and fled. Okay. Because for only about 25% of the people who experienced someone being there when they broke in, continuing to cause violence, that's not a lot of people. Okay, so that breaks it down. So the people of it is 114,816 households that experienced a break-in while they were home, and they ended up being assaulted. Okay. So out of the 1.6 million break-ins, 114,000, almost 115,000 ended up in some violence because someone was there. Okay, so that off the bat made me feel better because a lot of my fears were me being in the shower or something and someone coming in and boom, like causing violence to me. Okay, so that just helped me so much because that just showed me not a lot of people are breaking in, number one. And the people that are breaking in, they don't really want you to be there, okay? And if you are there, they're afraid as well, which shows you we're human. We're not these robotic, evil creatures walking around trying to kill everybody, okay? Even if we do go to the place of breaking in, we're probably going to get afraid and flee because we didn't want them to be there. You get what I'm saying? So that just shows that we are better than you think, okay? I don't want to, make it seem like it's okay to break in because it's not. But you can see that, it's less. They're not doing it in a violent way. They're probably doing it to get money for themselves, okay, or something for themselves, okay. 9% of the violent, so 9% of the 115,000 that were violent break-ins were serious violence, okay. So that means that maybe, it happened, like they fought each other or something. But 9% of the 26% that experienced violence, of the 7% that were home, okay, it was serious, okay? And so that helped me a lot, knowing that, all right? Then let me get to this. 7.2% of all the break-ins involved violence, okay? And 61% of the people that broke in were unarmed. If it was a violent altercation, 61% of those times, they were unarmed, okay? So the majority of people breaking in, again, are not breaking in with guns, okay? And if they are, okay, 9% of the break-ins are resulting in some serious injury, not even saying death, okay? So the people that are breaking in, even if they're breaking in with guns, that is to make you afraid, but they're really not coming for you to try to shoot you or kill you. Okay. Now, I do think the people that did break in maybe for violence to kill someone is because of this statistic. This one really blew my mind. 65% of the violence that occurred during break-ins is not from a stranger. Okay. So people that are breaking into homes and causing violence, they know the person. You get what I'm saying? So the majority of people are not breaking in. And if they are breaking in, they don't want you to be there. If they are breaking in while you're there, it's because 65% or 61%, 65% of the time, they knew you were there and they wanted to have some kind of altercation with you. Okay. So that says a lot. Okay. And even with that, you don't know their story. You don't know if the person in the household that got broken into did some crazy-ish to make someone break into their house. You know what I'm saying? So that just made me feel a little bit better. So basically, Now going into the facts of how many households are in the U.S. So to know that 1.6 million households were broken into, they are 127.6 million households in the U.S. There were, in 2018. Okay, so the percentage of people that experienced break-ins in 2018 was 1.2%. Okay, and the percentage of people that experienced the break-in that ended up in some kind of violence was 0.33% of the households that had the break-in. Okay, and 31,000 people broken into with violence were from a stranger. So I feel like the main fear we have is, they're going to break in, and not just break-ins. That's not the main fear. It's like they're going to break in, you're going to get murdered or hurt in some way, and you're not going to know them. Okay. So the actual statistic, the amount of people, the amount of households where that occurred, where someone broke in, there was violence, and you didn't know them, that is 31,000 households out of the 1.6 million that had the break-ins, or 31,000 households out of the 127.6 million households in the U.S. Okay, so that percentage-wise, out of the 1.6 million, okay, who experienced the fear of the break-in, okay, which is about 1.2% of the population, okay, within households. 1.9% of that 1.2% experience what we really fear, okay, breaking in and ending up in violence from a stranger, okay. So out of all of the break-ins in the United States, 1.2% of those break-ins, not just 1.2% of the households, because 1.9% is the amount of people who experience a break-in in the year. Okay, out of that 1.9%, only 1.2% of people experience what we really fear the most: a break-in with a murder or violence with someone we don't know. And that allowed my shoulders to calm the hell down, because I was like, okay, less than 2% of the Americans are experiencing break-ins, and out of those 2%, only 1% or about 2% of those people are experiencing what I really fear the most. Okay, so that helped me a lot. I hope that helped you. I'm not ever going to have, me saying this now, someone going to break up my damn house. I'm never going to have security systems and stuff like that. It's not even, okay, now I understand how people leave their door unlocked and that kind of stuff, because nobody's coming for you. Okay, it's very rare. Okay, so now we're going to move into homelessness. Okay, so, and this is again because of my fear of losing my home. Okay, so, from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's annual homeless assessment report, in 2018, there were 553,000 homeless people in the United States, which is about 0.17% of the population. Okay, which is not a lot, way less than 1%. Okay, 0.17%. Okay, now again, I'm gonna say it anyway, okay, because I really feel this and mean this. If you're homeless, that's not, I got you, okay? If people knew me, or you saw me do what I do, I don't post that because it's not about the clout, okay? But so many times I've given money to homeless people, even when let's say I might have had $5, you're gonna get one of those, okay? At least I got 4, now you got 1, okay? So that I'm not here to just say that that's not, don't worry about homeless people because there's not that many. That's not it, because of this next fact, okay? I think it would be easy. It won't be that hard to get everybody out of homelessness, because look at this. With only 0.17% of people homeless, this is how much of the government is sending money to homelessness. The United States Interagency Council of Homelessness has a $3.5 million budget to help out. That's nothing, okay? Do you know how much money we spend on the military? $598.5 billion a year, which is 54% of our damn budget, goes to the military. Okay. Now, respect to the military and my father, everybody, I'm the only man in my family who's not in the military. Okay. Now, I don't really believe too much in it. Okay, because there's not much to fear. And the military, I think, is the power tool that America uses to make other people feel bad. Okay, and to cause a lot of chaos in the world and ish, okay, and get a lot of money and stuff. Just, it's a lot of underneath the surface reasons why we're going to war. Not really because we want to fight anybody, okay. And I think a lot of people have lost their lives and all that kind of stuff to the injustice and the greed of America. Okay, but regardless of that, for 54% of the budget to go to the military, which is not necessarily benefiting an individual instantly. Okay, of course, like am I proud and am I so grateful that we have this strong military so that I don't have to fear another country. Ain't no country coming to blow up America, because that's not going to happen because of how much artillery and insane military support that we have. Okay, that is something to be grateful for. Okay, to feel safe. All right, but do they need that much funding? Hell no, because that is benefiting the people. Yes, we feel safe. But there are other funds that, giving money to the homeless literally instantly benefits the person. Okay, yes, I'm getting benefit through the safety of the military, but that's not, you get what I'm saying? It's not completely giving, like, individually benefiting people. Okay, so for only $3.5 million from the government given to homelessness a year in the entire United States. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you broke that up by 50, how much is that? Let me do that really quick, just because I'm curious. Okay. So that's about, if you did it evenly, okay, $70,000 a year per state. Could you help some people with $70,000, okay, to get them out of homelessness, okay? Like, come on, okay? So I think, okay, if we put more, by knowing this fact that there's not that many people homeless, we can put more money to and help get that figured out. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I just want to point that out. Okay. But let me go now to the aspect of people who lose their homes, because that is a fear. Okay. I want to work super hard because I don't want to lose my home. Okay. 1 out of 200 people lose their home a year. Okay. Through foreclosure. Okay. That is about 0.5% of households. That's again less than 1%. Okay. Out of 100 people, out of 1,000 people, that would be, wait, I got just confused myself. Wait, 1 person out of 100 people is 1%. So 0.5% would be, what is that? 1 person out of, why is it so hard for me to do? Out of 200? I think that's right. Okay. 1 person out of 200. Oh, duh, because 1 out of 200 households. Okay, yeah. So 0.5% of people are losing their homes, which is not a lot, okay? Meaning that there are ways to not lose your home, okay? Even if you don't have the finances for it, a lot of people are figuring it out, okay? 6% of the U.S., now this is the switch, okay? So we talked about the lower end. Now I want to show you how much abundance is in the United States, okay? And when I found this out, I was like, oh, hell yes, I'm about to be a billionaire in this bitch, okay? This is nothing, because they don't really tell you, and this is, of course, they're not going to. They don't share how many people actually have lots of money in the United States, okay? It's a lot of people. Because if we knew that there were a lot of people who are millionaires in the United States, we would have that goal, like I have, okay, to get to that. Because we're like, oh, that's not that bad, okay? Okay. And so then you can see that. So there is 0.5% of people losing their homes and 0.17% of people in homelessness. 6% of Americans are millionaires, okay? You know how many millionaires that is? That is 11 million millionaires. There are 11 million people in the United States that are millionaires. Okay. Which, I was like, damn, that's a lot of people. Okay. 6%. And that's less than the amount of Asian Americans in the United States. Okay. Through the Census Bureau, there are 5.6% percent of the United States is Asian American. Okay. 6% of the United States are millionaires. So there are more millionaires than there are Asian Americans in the United States. Okay, so that really helped. I was like, oh, okay. And not to, if you are of Asian descent, I hate when people say Asian people are like black people. I don't like, I guess you could use that, but I feel like we need another word for that. Race in general is like outdated as hell anyway, but I've seen a lot of Asian people in my life. You know what I'm saying? I hate that. That just sounds so like, I don't like saying that, okay? But that's the statistics, okay? So that means in your walking day life, even though, maybe you might not see it because of how America is, so many people are built on fear, so the millionaires don't want to live around the people of poverty, okay? So if you're in different areas, you might not see this, but just looking around, if you like, let's say, with me living in New York, is that Oh my god, that's the second ladybug I've seen. Okay. Me living in New York, I was walking around a lot of millionaires because I was walking around a lot of Asian people. You get what I'm saying? And it's only 5.6% of the nation. Okay. And that's generalized because New York probably has a higher population, but you get what I'm saying. It's not that, it's a low percentage. Okay. But in comparison to millionaires, wow. Okay. So that's what I have for homelessness and just abundance in America. A lot of people are abundant. Okay. In America, and not a lot of people are actually losing their homes, that kind of thing. Okay. Lastly, car crashes. Okay, because this is the big one for me. I've had so many dreams of, the main one was, like on the highway when you're going off that little like barrier thing that people that's supposed to protect from car crashes. It's like long and like yellow, and you know what I'm saying. I have had so many dreams of running into that thing. Okay. Or hitting deer, that kind of stuff. So let me debunk car crashes because this really helped me so much. Okay, there are 6 million car accidents a year. Okay, and that's not just that's anything, any altercation regarding a car. Okay, 6 million accidents a year. Out of that, 3 million of those accidents cause injury a year. So about half of the accidents are resulting in some kind of injury. Okay. And out of that 6 million, 2 million of the drivers experienced in the crash have permanent injury. Okay, and at the end of this, when I finish talking about this, I'll show the percentage of that. Okay, out of how many people are driving. Okay, so we have 6 million car crashes a year. 3 million of those result in injury, and 2 million of those are from the drivers experience permanent injury. Okay. Now, it's hard to depict, who's injured, if it was a driver, if it was a person in the car, because I don't think they have that statistic. I couldn't find that, but this is just in general. So this is even saying there are a lot of people, the injuries could have been 3 people in one accident. Okay, so that could have brought it up. Okay, so this is the people dying. That's not talking about death. This is death through car crashes. This is really what we see a lot, and a lot of the fear is you're going to die in a car crash. Okay, in 2016, 37,461 people were killed in 34,436 car crashes. Okay, so out of the 6 million car accidents a year, 34,000 of those result in death. Okay, and out of the 3 million people injured, or let's say 2 million, well, let me just skip that fact. Okay, so let me go to the percentages. In 2016, which is the same year as the deaths, there were 225 million licensed drivers in the United States. Okay, 225 million. I was like, damn, a lot of people are on the road. Okay, 225 million licensed drivers in the United States. Okay, so out of that, 2.6% of people will experience an accident of any kind in every year. Okay, or in 2016, 2.6% of people experienced an accident of any kind. Okay. Out of that, 1.3% of the 225 million people driving were injured. Okay, so out of all the drivers, about every year, about 1% of people are injured in an accident. Which, I was like, okay, so, I'm calm, because that's not that many people. Okay, and now death. Out of the 225 million licensed drivers, 0.017% were killed in a crash. Okay. Meaning 0.57% of accidents in general are going to result in death. Okay, so about 0.01% of people die in a car crash. Okay, and out of all the accidents that occur, all the car crashes that occur in any given year, 0.57% of those will end up in death, result in some kind of death. Okay. That's not a lot. Now, again, I'm not trying to say, okay, because why would I think that's okay for somebody to die in a car crash? Hell no, because clearly I had that fear for myself. Okay, so I don't want that for anybody. But to know that in the year in the United States, not even 1% of people are going to die in a car crash, 0.5%, okay, of accidents. That's not even car crashes, okay? That's just saying 0.01% of people are going to die out of the drivers. But out of everybody getting in the crash, so out of the 1%, or out of the 2% of people that got in some kind of crash in 2016, 0.5% of those people ended up dying. You get what I'm saying? So if you get in a crash, okay, your what's the word I'm looking for? It's the word. Come on, why couldn't I get it? I don't know why this word is so simple. Okay, I don't know why it's not coming to me, but the odds. There we go. The odds of you dying from a crash if you get in an accident is 0.5%. Okay, and that calmed me down so much. I was like, wow. Okay, so 2% of the people about 3% of the people get in the crash. So if I'm driving, I have a 3% chance of getting in the crash. Okay, and if I do get in one, I have a 0.5% chance of dying. Okay. Now I want to even get into the details even more, or maybe you can research it for me because I'm just now realizing this. How many people that have died in car crashes died without a seatbelt on? Okay, I'm wondering that. Okay, because maybe I'm seeing that could be the main percent of people of that 0.5%. Okay, so that made me feel so much better about car crashes. Not a lot of people are getting in car crashes, and not a lot of people at all are dying from them. Okay. So last thing, so that's my 4. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed that. I did have one last debunk I wanted to share, and that's deaths in general. Okay, because by the end of this, I was like, well, shoot, I'm just interested. I'm curious to see how many people are dying. Okay, so, and the majority of people that die is not related to murder. Like, this is natural deaths. Okay, are way higher than murder, car crash, all those kind of things. Okay, I want to see. Let me check the percentage really quick. Okay, so out of the people that have died in the United States, 92% of deaths are through natural causes. Okay, so less than 8%. It's 92.5. Less than 8% of people who die. Okay. In the United States are dying because of a car crash or murder or something that's not a natural, illness or something like a natural disaster or something like that. Okay, which is not a lot. Okay, so in 2013, 2,596,993 people died. Okay, so out of the population, that's 0.8%. So about 1% of people die every year. Okay, about 1%. And out of that 1% of people, 92% of those people die of natural causes. Okay, which is not a lot. I'm sorry, not a lot of people dying from not natural causes. Okay, so that's nice to know. Okay, if you are gonna die, it's probably gonna be because of an illness. You know what I'm saying? And then think about that. There's a lot we can do to prevent that. Okay. Work on your health, work on, exercise, that kind of thing. Because the highest rate is I think heart disease is the highest. And let me not even get into the spiritual about that, okay? Meaning that a lot of people are not truly enjoying and being, pleased because their heart is the thing that dies, okay? But regardless, out of the 0.8% of the population that dies, 50% of those deaths are from people 70 years or older, okay? So out of the 1% of people dying in the United States every year, about 50% of those people die at the age of 70 or older. So this is natural or not. Don't be coming in unknown caller trying to distract, okay? From the age of 50 to 69, that's 27% of people dying. And from 15 to 49, that's 14%. Okay? So out of the 1% of people dying, 14% of people that have died out of that 1% were from the age of 15 to 49. 27% were from 50 to 69, and about half were over the age of 70. Okay, so a lot of people the majority of people dying are in older age through natural causes, which is the only. I mean, you got to come out of here. You got to leave somehow. Okay, so that is great news. Okay, now again, the word choice. Okay, I don't think anybody if I could have it, nobody would die. Okay, but because I just sympathy, okay, empathy, okay. But we got to continue this journey, okay. This is not a permanent place, okay. And out of that, not a lot of people are dying tragically, okay. So that is my video, all right, on the main, deaths or the main fears debunked, and proving that the mass media is dramatic as hell, okay, and all they share is deaths and crashes and homelessness and no money and struggle to keep us, in fear, to keep us crippled, to keep us separate, to keep us all the things I explained, okay. So hopefully you enjoyed this, guys. I really love sharing this. It helped me so much, so hopefully it helped you. If you found a lot of benefit with this, like the video, share the video for real, because this is good information. People need to get this out. It's very valuable. And comment below. Let me know anything, any other reasons you had of the media being dramatic as hell. Any other things, if you have any other facts, or anything else you want to debunk, okay? Any other fears, these are the main things I was thinking. What other fears are there that are very common, okay? So that's what I have, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to you later. The Water Bear is out.